Well, welcome along, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 26th of August, 2020. It's just gone midday. And, of course, it is Men's Radio Station with him, Russ, Kane, and me, Phil Dave, bidding you a very good afternoon. Did you get your coffee? Very good.
I did. It's if you're a coffee freak like I am, or just a freak like I am, the thought of an hour without the coffee, because I need like a few espressos in the morning, because otherwise nothing happens.
For heaven's sakes, Russell.
Oh, has something arrived?
You are absolutely ridiculous.
Has a little something arrived?
You know what? I know this is going to sound ridiculously ungrateful. I opened that quite excited because I thought it was my new candelabra. But saying
Liberace? What the hell? This is the whole new you. My candelabra.
I didn't.
Camp. Go on.
Not that. It fell off my windscreen. Windscreen? No, don't.
Windscreen. Look, I know you've got a mini convertible. Do they now come with candelabras? Hey, look at that. That's Phil Dave. He's got candelabras instead of headlights.
Oh, you are. Thank you very much.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
Absolutely no idea that's what that was. So thank you.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Phil was very generous the other day, and I just wanted to just say thank you. That was all. Chrissy Holt, straight in, like my mum. Except the difference is you're alive, Chrissy, obviously. Too much coffee is bad for you. Well, yes, I know. But honestly, Chrissy, I would be sitting here like, if I didn't have that. I've got a kickstart. What can I do? Hope you enjoyed your day off. Well, to be honest, Chrissy, no, it's not a day. It's not a day off. It's a day that we're not broadcasting. We actually do lots of other billions of other things, which you would do if you're running two radio stations and talking to your business partners every 5 minutes and sorting out guests. And what's that? What are you looking at now? Something's excited you.
You know what? All my post today seems to stem from you. I'm not 100% sure.
Go on. Oh, is that? Show me the package. Can you show me the package?
I can't. It's got an address on it, but let's just say that it's in.
Oh, right. Yes, no, that's for you. I've been waiting for that. I sent that. That's from America. Open it up.
I don't understand.
It's from America.
You know, people are going to think that this is bribery and corruption. I'm very happy.
Bribery and corruption. You're a good friend. I've known you for many, many years. You work your socks off for Men's Radio Station, and it's my little way of saying thank you. So that's how it works, you know.
I'm not after a thank you.
I've been waiting for that to arrive from America. I know that I keep saying to you.
I love it.
There you go. Look, show everybody what it is. It's every snack you make, every meal you bake, every bite you take. I'll be watching you. And oddly enough, there's two little Dachshunds called Monty and Carlo.
I love it. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Good God. Hang on a sec. I'm going to get reaction from elsewhere in the room now. Hang on a second.
Let's see what Mr. Dave Senior has to say about it.
What do you?
Let's see if he likes it. Let's see if he likes the whole thing here.
Pop.
Oh, he calls him. I used to call my dad Pop. Oh, he's lucky having his dad, isn't he? Yeah.
There you go. We got a thumbs up from over there as well.
He liked it. He liked it. That's great.
Thank you very much indeed. Though if you think I'm a large, you cheeky git. But anyway.
Well, no. I didn't get large. Did I get large? Is that large? I don't know what I got. Well, I didn't get too extra large. You know, I like mine to be like Billy Smart Circus or Zippo Circus or whatever the hell, you know, whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm glad you. So it's a jamboree. I've sent you nothing else apart from an invitation, but I've sent you nothing else. That's it.
And
that's your lot.
Chrissy gets the reference. She says that's lovely because he's always eating, lol. Yes, I am.
That is true. That is completely true.
Oh,
right, who we got? Sarah Naya says schnauzers have the same stare. Well, Sarah, here is mine. All I care about is. I don't know if you could read it. Can you read it out, Phil?
And mini schnauzers and like maybe 3 people and coffee.
Yeah, that's it. This was the perfect shirt. All I care about is mini schnauzers and about 3 people and coffee. That's it.
Do the rest of the show in this shirt now. Hang on. going to say. Let's get this. Let's get the.
Oh, Sue Sleet up in Fife via where was it?
Staples
Bromley.
Court and Bromley.
I can't think of Staples Court. Bromley. Linda Dave loves the t-shirt. Good. Chanel's had the same thing. Absolutely. I have one of those t-shirts with a collie. Oh, I love collies. not for London though. Not for London. If I was a country boy language, I'd have something like that, but not for London. They're hopeless.
Can I don't actually last time I wore a t-shirt on camera, but I'm going to give it a shot. So hang on a second. Right. So it's, first, I think I have to
hang on a minute. Paul Claridge has got erection problems. He wants to talk about them. Afternoon all. No, I'm not up a ladder. Well, that's a good start, Paul. He's always up some sugar and a ladder. I'm on the ground in a garden in Beckenham with a mate, helping a mate with erection difficulties. Well, you know, whatever gets you through the night. We're putting up some tents. I went to the doctor the other day. I said, sometimes I think I'm a wigwam. Sometimes I think I'm a teepee. He said, relax, Russ, you're too tense. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the chicken. Alexandra, where's her t-shirt? You're not involved in Alex, you're not involved in this.
There we go.
It's
a new dress. Right. Okay.
Is it too big?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. You know, I can rent it out for weddings and bar mitzvahs. But don't worry.
Nice. You could be the new marquee rental company. That'd be. Hey, we got a special show today.
No, we haven't.
We've got a really special show today, which I'm very excited about. Now, one of my best chums is a terrific person called Jo Hart. Jo Hart. It's Joanne. Do you know I've never asked if anyone known her as Jo? The 1,000 years I've known her. And Jo. No, it's not Joan. Definitely not Jo. She's not a Joan. I think it's probably Joanne or Joanna. I don't know. Jo Hart. Anyway, Jo Hart Media, as in Hearts Media, not in the radio station, but in Heart Media. And Jo, I've said this many times, but it's true. She is the only person in the music industry that I would ever trust, because it's a cesspit full of snake oil salesmen. It's disgusting. I can't tell you how revolting it is. But Jo is one of the very, very few people who has an impeccable reputation. She truly does. She's a lovely human being and totally trustworthy. And everyone in the industry loves her. And she reached out and said, do I want to play a record? And everything? I said, no, it's not what we're about. Phil and I get inundated. Could you play this? No, because we're not a music-based station. We're on a mission, and playing music is not part of it. And
not to mention, I don't wish to bore people, but of course, Facebook Live has certain restrictions in place as well that you've got to be careful.
PRS things which we'd have to pay, and it's all money that we don't have. And we're pretty strict about that, because if you're not paying PRS, Performing Rights Society, then you're taking the bread off the table of musicians, which I'm very, very against, because how they're supposed to make a living. However, Jo explained what this was about, and I was also a lot of these charity records. I'm sorry, they're terrible. I'm being honest here. They're just terrible. They're terrible music. Maybe a wonderful cause, but the music is not always up to par. Let's leave it at that. I recognise they're trying, but come on. So,
hey, you might be in a bit of trouble.
Why? What's the matter now?
Annie Lichtenfeld, yes, related, has said Alexandra. Alexandra Lichtenfeld would like to know where her t-shirt is.
Yeah. It's bad enough dealing with the parents who you've known forever. I've known Alex for 35 years plus, and now her daughter's all grown up. Now I've got to deal with her. Life, huh? Francine Warner, handsome man. Fran, you really, really get Michael to drive you around. No, you drive. I keep forgetting. I always think you don't drive. We've been together since we were babies, and I've never been in the car driven by Francine, ever. I assume she drives. All right. Open Mind. Martin, thank you. Open Mind. This is a great new thing that we're hooking up with. We're going to try and do some work together. Martin Bell's over in Mallorca, and he's listening now. Anyway, Ed Grossman wants to know, Paul Claridge, are you helping with the erection of the tents with Viagra? God knows. I don't want to pry. Not my problem. Anywho, we're going to. There was something. An initiative started. It's called Generation Z. Or if you're an American, Generation Z, and it was about. I'm paraphrasing, but you'll get the point. That we have forgotten unless you've got kids of this age or grandchildren of this age, the stress that they have gone under during lockdown, and then with this fiasco over the GCSEs, which is a freaking nightmare. I don't know how the hell these things happen. Honestly, I swear to God, I know I'm chaotic.
A-levels as well.
Again?
Let's not forget it affected A-levels as well.
Oh, no, I know. Absolutely. It was GCSEs and A-levels. You know, you've worked your guts out as a kid. You're nervous as hell. You work really hard, and then it's chaotic. And I don't know why people thought that would be acceptable. It's never acceptable. You're messing around with people's lives here. Anywho, coming up in a bit, we have one of these people who has been very badly affected by the whole thing. Before you go, so get along and get over. No, this is serious stuff. It's serious stuff. You know, you got to put your head for a minute inside their mind. You know, they've worked really hard for it. It's very important to them, and they've been suffering. So I said to Joe Hart, we'd love to have them on the show. So we're doing a little bit of a special. We'll see how this goes. No idea. Hopefully it'll go okay, and they will please God, they can follow all the technical instructions. They will be joining.
They're standing by, Ross Kane.
Holy moly, mother of Elizabeth Taylor.
To follow the technicals. They're here. Oh, hang on a second.
No, they've gone.
Ken Elm. No, not at all. They're standing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, correct.
Ken Elm raises a point that's a little bit of a sore point for many people.
God,
never mind the rules. We could all sing Land of Hope and Glory and Rule Britannia just to annoy the BBC.
Ken Elm, there's a really interesting thing I've been having. You know, James Whale, the broadcaster, who's a brilliant broadcaster, we were talking about with Chantal last Friday, and he announced that all his cancer has come back. But James is working very hard, and James and I have been chatting away online because he's furious about this. I'm furious about this. And Lawrence Fox, who I would love to get on the show because he was lambasted by, Lawrence Fox. Well, I just love Lawrence Fox. I met him.
Can of worms in the making.
Say again.
A can of worms in the making, I think.
Oh, you betcha. Anyway, they're trying to get, and I'm going to get involved just because I think I will. Maybe Phil will. I don't know. Trying to get Vera Lynn, the late wonderful legend Vera Lynn, to the #1 spot with her version of Land and Hope and Glory, which the BBC would then have to play. That would be hilarious. I mean, it's subversive. It appeals to me because it's subversive and it's funny, and it goes, that's what happens when you tell us what to do, BBC. Stop telling us what to do.
I don't wish to encroach too much because our guests, like I said, they are waiting. So we must
go.
Conversation. However, what I would say is that I think we could go one step better. I would absolutely love it if we could I know that it's going to be very different last night at the Proms this year because obviously it's not going to be in front of an audience for starters. And any gatherings such as the Hyde Park one, the one in Belfast, in Glasgow, all of the different gatherings they have all around the country, all gone. They're not happening at all, which is terribly sad. But all I would suggest is that if there is any chance that everyone at the time when they play Land of Hope and Glory and Rule Britannia sticks their heads out the window and just sings it at the top of their lungs, I think that would be marvellous. Anyway.
It'd be quite hilarious.
Righto. Without further ado, let us bring in, I was going to say let's bring in our guests, but it looks like guests in the plural.
Okay. I was hoping there might be, but, you know, I never like to always under-promise and over-deliver.
Now, I'm guessing, this is an educated guess, you see, based on some notes that we were sent out a little earlier on, that waiting in the wings is Brian and Olivia. Can you guys give me the thumbs up if that's the case? Yes, I can. All right, look at that. You see, it's almost like I read the notes.
But you read the notes?
Anyway.
I'll let you read the notes. I just wing it.
Let's find out more about the remarkable Generation Z now, because joining us is Brian and Olivia.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you to do.
That was quick. That was a hell of an interview, and I think we got a lot out of it.
I can hear you've got us on speaker, and that's going to cause a great deal of echo. So you either need to turn that right down for me, or you need to wear headphones. So this could be tricky, but let's see what we can do. Okay, let's give it a shot.
He doesn't mess about. He tells it like it is. He tells it like it is.
Well,
if you turn it right down, is that better?
That's much better.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well done. Slight echo.
We might have to put up with, I'm afraid. But anyway, let's see what we can do. Well, welcome both of you, first and foremost. Thank you very much for joining. Should we
Do
start?
you not have any headsets, like little things?
Yeah,
you put
one
in
sec,
the phone?
one sec. I'm gonna just line up. Can you just give?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll send you off camera. You go off and do that. Line it up on headphones for us. That'll be
It's
marvelous.
like standing in the Grand Canyon, isn't it? Or in the Cheshire Gorge caves or whatever they are. You go, hello, hello.
Hello. Yes, I do apologise there. Sadly, I'm afraid the technical.
Apologise. No. They wouldn't know. They're not on the radio. They're leading a proper life. They're grown-ups. They have a life. According to your mother, apparently Vera Lynn's #1 at the moment.
Oh, there you go.
That
I had
would be
no idea that it hit
hilarious.
the cutting edge of the charts. But anyway,
That would be absolutely hilarious. Ed
Right.
Grossman's not agreeing with you. He said turn it off.
no, I think what better way to stick two fingers up and sing it loud and sing it proud. I was listening to Rule Britannia this morning just to remind myself of the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song. It's amazing. Anyway, let's not get into that because I think we've now managed to get the technicals sorted. So let's welcome them back and say a very good afternoon to both Brian and Olivia. Olivia, I'm guessing you're the one who can hear us because you've got the headphones on. Excellent. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll speak to Brian in just a moment's time, and we promise not to say anything nasty about him. First and foremost,
Oh, I don't know. Let's get all the dirt on Brian.
yes,
He can't hear anything. He can't hear. This is great.
first and foremost,
Hang on. What is that? You got big piano keys behind you. What is that? Wallpaper or a door? Or what is that?
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
like a sticker.
wait,
It's wallpaper that looks 3D, but it's actually completely flat.
how
It's
fabulous!
terrific. We love that. I've never seen that before anywhere. That's great.
Good gracious me! Wow,
That's really cool. All right. Well,
where do you live? The Surrey Keys.
Surrey Keys. They live in Surrey Keys. That's very good. Very good.
Thank you very much. I try. What can I say?
Excellent. Okay, fine.
Hit the right.
Now then, off you go, Philip.
Oh, how very kind. Thank you very much. Anyway, I think first and foremost, what we do need to start off with, tell us a bit about both of you, because obviously you have a reason for being here.
Yeah.
You two know each other how? Just so we clarify that.
Through Generation Z.
Okay.
Strong the song.
Okay.
So,
Involvement.
So I'm one of the singers, and
yeah, I'm one of the producers of the project. And we started this project a few months ago. I've been working with my other two co-producers, Perry Young and Daniela Joseph. And Perry started a charity a few months ago called Cool to Say No, which is an anti-bullying charity.
Say that again, Brad. Cool to say no.
Cool to Say No.
Okay.
And
Low temperature, yes?
sorry, say that again, Phil.
Cool as in cool, low temperature, yes?
Yeah.
Right.
And through that, you know, the guy.
In what the children say as opposed to anything else. So what the trendy people say. Excellent.
Cool.
And through that, you know, Perry was wanting to do something of the time, and you know, we've all had a lot of anxiety over lockdown. So he said to me, "Why don't we do a song for now and for children's mental health?" And I said, "Well, what about this? What about this song, Perry? You've created?" And so we've got Daniela involved, who's done some just amazing lyrics, and we've also Perry's worked with Molly Lane in the past. He's released a single with her, and some of her friends are in this. We auditioned for more kids, and now we have this single, which you know, which kind of speaks for itself. It's strong. It's saying, you know, we've had a hard time. We've had anxiety. We're worried about lots of things, but things are going to be okay. Together, we'll be stronger, and it's a positive, uplifting.
And
song.
it's being promoted by the lovely Joe Hart, if I've got that all right, which is how you're here now.
Okay. Is that
No?
a seg, or
Is that a what?
sorry? Are you sagging into a clip, or
No,
okay? Yeah,
no, we're talking.
that's right. Joe
clip.
Hart.
We're talking. I'm much more interested in chatting to Olivia. So, Olivia, if you don't mind me asking you, how old are you?
I'm 14.
You're 14. Okay. And on TikTok, which is not something I've ever gone within 5 miles of, you had 100,000 followers. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
What is it about you, Olivia, that 100,000 people find so amazing?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't really know myself. No, I'm joking.
No, you must know.
I would say they like, I do singing videos and acting videos and dances, so kind of like a triple threat on TikTok.
So okay, so I love the bit like singing and dancing. I get acting. What do? Do you take scenes out of movies or something? What do you do?
Yeah, so there's two things you could do: take scenes out of movies and series and things like that, or you can, for example, a song. Certain lyrics, they mean different things, so you can create an acting video out of that song and mouth the lyrics of the song as if you're acting. Yeah.
How clever is that? What was your favorite? Before we get into the reason that you're here, what was your favorite film or TV series that you acted from? Just curious.
I do like my kind of own little series, so I kind of use songs and do my own. So I did like a series about mental health, for example, and what lengths internet trolls you can actually really damage someone.
Now let's cut to the chase here, Olivia.
Yeah.
You have been very badly bullied.
Yeah.
We at Men's Radio Station and Women's Radio Station fight against bullying. It's something that we absolutely hate.
Yeah.
And we've had to deal with a lot of our guests over the years that we've been going, a couple of years that we've been going. What form did this bullying take? Because I mean, we're meeting you for the first time. You seem absolutely charming and delightful. So is this jealousy? Is this you nick someone's boyfriend? I mean, what's the deal?
I've always been told it's jealousy, and obviously it's easy for someone to say that. Obviously it's kind of harder for you to believe that as the person who's getting bullied. But I've always been told it was jealousy. I was indirect bullied, online bullied.
What do you think at 14 they're jealous of?
Honestly, I'm kind of baffled myself. I'm
not baffled
I kind of
at
used
all.
to think that I was the problem.
No, you're not.
But
I'm not. You see, Olivia, I've known you now all of 3 minutes. I'm not baffled why they're jealous at all.
You're practically BBFs.
What?
You're practically BBFs. You've known
We're
each other.
practically, hey, what the heck? We're going out clubbing soon. Because you're smart. You're obviously very smart. You're very articulate. You're a pretty kid, if I'm allowed to say that these days, without being hauled off to court.
Yeah.
And I think people find that you were talking about a triple threat with your acting, singing, and all the rest of it, dancing. People do that now. Is it mainly girls who are bullying you?
It used to be actually boys that used to bully me first.
That's because they can't get to talk to you. They're too shy.
And
No, I'm serious. That's why they bully you.
Yeah. And then as I got a little bit older and I kind of put myself out there to do singing, dancing and acting, that's when girls started bullying me, and
So what sort of, if it's not too upsetting to us, what sort of thing, Olivia, would they start doing? Would they just say you're rubbish or...
So with the boys bullying, it became a bit more violent. For example, glue sticks were being thrown at my head, and
Excuse me, say that again?
Glue sticks were being thrown at my head.
Sticks were being thrown at your head.
Yeah, and one of the boys got a bin bag and put it over my head whilst I was sitting on my chair. Yeah, so it got really violent.
School.
Yeah, my school. It took a while for them to do something because they were trying to praise. I think schools try to praise naughty kids so they're not naughty, but I don't know.
You know what? Extraordinary. There's something that I have said very openly on this program for a long time, that I went through bullying at school myself, and some of the most horrific, probably not as horrific if I'm honest with you, but it certainly was verbal torture, that's for sure. And it took me a very, very long time to realize, and I'm quite cross with myself how long it took me to realize this, that anyone who picks on another, they are the ones who've got the problem. It's just as simple as that. There is literally nothing wrong with the individual who's being picked on. Nothing. There may well be behavioral problems for them if they start picking on others, because then that's quite a common occurrence as well. Is that I was told, my sister, I think, did something with child psychology, and I just vaguely remember being told somewhere along the line that it's if you are picked on, you're more likely to pick on others just to try and alleviate that pressure, as it were, of being picked on, if you see what I mean. So then, of course, it starts becoming an issue. But when you recognize that those who are actually doing the bullying in the first place, they are the ones who have something to answer for, and they're the ones who've got a problem, it does totally change perspective on it. I hope
So,
that you realize that.
Olivia, did you tell? I don't know your personal story at all. Did you tell your parents this was going on?
So I told my mum. I'm very, very close with my mum. I told my mum
Okay.
absolutely everything at the
Right.
start about the bullying with the boys, and then I started, when the girls started bullying me, I didn't really tell my mum anymore because I didn't want to upset her or feel like I was being a problem or being annoying. Because
dear,
not
dear.
in any way, shape or form did she make me feel like I was the problem. She's so supportive.
Hmm.
But as a child, obviously I've got 3 siblings, she's got other kids and things like that. I felt like I was always coming home from school and being, oh mum, they did this to me again and this to me. So I didn't tell her for a little while, but she knows me too well and she knew something was up, and when we spoke about it, I literally got everything off my chest.
Right.
How
How did she react?
I'm not gonna lie to you, she was very upset what happened. If she saw me upset, so that upset her.
Sure.
And she was absolutely furious that the school had done nothing about it, and how the kids were getting away with it. And she took matters into her own hands, and she came up the school with me, and yeah.
Well,
At its absolute worst, how bad has it made you feel? Sort of what, how have you actually felt personally? Because you hear horror stories about how low people have to sink,
Yeah.
or they will be prepared to speak out and say, actually, I'm being bullied.
Yeah, I felt when the boys were picking on me, obviously everyone was telling me, oh, it's because they like you. But I've now realised it doesn't matter if someone likes you. They have no right to be absolutely horrible to you. But I felt like I was alone, even though I had my mum, but I didn't really have a lot of friends. I don't really have a lot of friends as it is. But I felt like, because all of my friends had turned their backs on me, and I felt quite alone, and I felt like
hang on, whoa, why had your friends? Yeah, it's so important because we don't often get the chance to talk to people like your good self. Why did your friends turn their backs on you?
In this generation, if you are not rated, or if people don't like you, and if you're not,
They give you ratings like a restaurant.
yeah.
Jesus.
My friends, because I was not rated, my friends didn't want to be friends with someone who wasn't rated, because otherwise they would not be rated themselves.
Yeah. Olivia, explain to us, because I'm sitting there going, what the hell is this? What do you mean? Is there a system? Is they go on a chart, or what do you mean rated?
No,
I'm
it's just
shocked.
when you're popular, your opinion matters to literally everyone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to people's opinions used to mean a lot to me, and now I could not care what dress you're wearing. No, Alicia, I do not.
Olivia,
care.
I give you a piece of advice.
Steady on, don't mention names, but yes, very good.
Yeah. Opinions are like bottoms. Everyone's got one. You don't always want to see them.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Not go there. But yes,
that's the truth of it, right? Here's someone who now. Here's a little interesting thing. Sue Cressman, who was one of our former guests, very, very successful hotelier. I was bullied, and I've had trolls sometimes. It's awful, but the best way to upset bullies is to be successful. And I'm sure Olivia will be most definitely in the future. I had similar experiences at school. Sue Cressman is hugely successful. And you will use this to your advantage, because I think it'll make you sorry. It's disgusting you've had to go through this.
it makes.
Have you spoken to those friends since? Have you told them to get lost?
I haven't spoken to them, no. I used to really worry, oh, I really need them to be my friends, and now I'm kind of I have my close circle of good friends, and that's all I need. And to be honest, the only opinion that matters to me is my mum's, because
That's right.
Well,
that's it. That's all you need. It's so difficult. I know when you're 14, you haven't had the life experiences yet, and life is a really long, complicated journey. But I would say, if you can count good friends that you would trust completely,
Yeah.
on the fingers of one hand, you're very, very lucky, because
Yeah.
that's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know?
I've learned
That's
that.
it. That's my message for today. And listen to your mum.
Should we bring Brian in at this stage? Because Brian, obviously, you have been quite. Oh, there you go. Sorry, we're going to swap headphones over. Right, Brian, you've been quite active, obviously, in trying to help Olivia and others in trying to combat this. So, tell us a bit more about the project that is Generation Z. How did it all come together?
Well, as I was saying earlier, I give a lot of credit to my co-writer Perry Young, because this is actually his idea, and he's done a lot of work regarding coaching with kids in schools using music to help them feel better and to express themselves, and so he wanted to do something in this time, at this moment of our national crisis. For kids, for people, experiencing mental health problems. So that's what the song is about. It's been a project for the kids to get involved in and have fun and sing and enjoy themselves. And so that's really how it's come about, and that's why we're giving to all proceeds to two charities, which is Grief Encounter and Young Minds. So really that's what it's about. It's got a force, it's got, the song choice is important, Phil. It's got a certain feel to it, okay, and it's quite emotional. And I think the song's a cathartic song. I think kids can identify with it. I hope you feel that, adults can, from what I've seen people do, and it's a kind of cathartic release. And I think we're saying, look, we can be stronger together. Yes, we feel like an outpouring of emotion from the toughness we've had over the last few months, but we're moving on, whichever way we choose. Whether that be, homeschooling, and I know Olivia's decided to go ahead with homeschooling now, or whether kids want to go back to their studies and their colleges. It's just a message of togetherness, really.
I have to say there's a couple of messages that are creeping in here for off the back of having just spoken to you. And first and foremost, let's start off with Sue Cressman, because I think this is pretty amazing. And don't potentially look this in the mouth, because this sounds a very good opportunity, in my opinion. Sue Cressman says, if Olivia would like to connect with me on Facebook or wherever, I would be delighted to mentor her. It would be my pleasure.
Oh, that's amazing. That's an awesome opportunity, yeah.
Believe me, you don't want to say no to Sue Cressman.
She's a fireball and an absolute cracker.
And then
really good.
There's a message here from, there's a message from my mother. Okay, do the honors.
Olivia sucks. Get her off the screen. I don't like her. Signed, Phil's mum. Olivia is a beautiful, articulate, gorgeous girl. Anyone who doesn't want to be her friend is mad. I want to be her friend and give her a big hug. And that's from Linda Davids, a very charming one. You have made, Olivia, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you've made a load of friends today. You really have, because I didn't know what to expect. And to be honest, my experience, we used to be in music management, my partner and I, and anything to do with kids, you want to go out into the street and throw yourself under a bus. Trust me.
That's how I feel.
And you seem absolutely charming.
Thank you.
Absolutely, you seem delightful. Please take up Sue Cressman's offer. Now, we don't often get a chance to speak to folks like yourself. How have you been dealing since the pandemic broke out in February, March? How have you been getting on?
I'd say at the start, I think everyone can relate. It was a bit scary and it was a bit nerve-wracking. But I settled in, and because I was with mum and home is my safe place, I was okay. But then children were getting bored, and obviously you missed your social life, so they were relying on the internet, and there was then cyberbullying and cyber trolls who were commenting on my TikToks and making hate pages, and I'd wake up one morning.
Hang on, don't rush past that. Because this is all kind of new to us, because we just go around and smack them in the mouth. Hate pages. What is a hate page?
So it's a
Is it what it
page where
sounds?
it's so they hate on me. So the username is something like Olivia is a clown, and then it had like a picture of me with a clown emoji on it, and like hate page in the bio, and they'd like make videos of me and put like.
What is the matter with these people, Olivia? Seriously, what is the matter with these people?
I know.
Are they sick?
Oh, God
Do they
knows.
have no
I
life?
that it's worth noting that you are the one who has become part of a group that's released a song or is about to release a song. They will probably amount to nothing.
Yeah.
I thought.
You can tell me about it.
That's what people. Yeah. So about the song, actually, people. So I've been congratulated by my family and friends, which is absolutely amazing, and I've had a lot of support from, especially family friends, with this song, and from everyone who's in the group as well. Have been so supportive to each other.
How many of you in this Generation Z?
So 9, 10.
10 of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you singing in a chorus, or are you taking various leads and then come in with the chorus? How's it work?
I was in the chorus, and I do a few of the harmonies as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of our listeners, Steve Benham, who happens to be, I believe, a DJ, if I'm not mistaken, Steve has said, "Hi, Russ. If Brian or Olivia wants to send us the new track, then we will playlist it on our radio station, Sound Street Radio." So there you go. You've already got one radio play. So,
Although Brian's getting busy.
Appreciate that. Just to say, the track is already available. It's released. It's live. It's called Strong by Generation Z. It's on iTunes and all platforms. So that's the
Now,
info.
Brian,
about the
while
track.
you've got the cans on, why why Grief Encounter? Grief Encounter, which is a fascinating charity, but why did you choose them? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, during the time of the pandemic, because it's a children's bereavement charity, and it's for children who've lost a parent or a sibling, and their calls to the charity have gone up by 97%. I've been told by the CEO this morning.
97%.
Yeah, that's how much it's gone up. So people have been affected sadly by death and bereavement, and there's also the mental health angle, which is why, and for the young mental health cause, which is why we've chosen Young Minds as well.
Brian, you seem very well informed on this subject, and I'm just wondering what your background is, whether or not if you've got any personal connection to this particular organization and this particular way of thinking.
How do you mean, Phil, in terms of connections? You
Well,
mean for myself?
You
I'll
seem
be-
very sympathetic to it.
Yeah, I'll be forthright. You seem to have an understanding and an empathy towards those who have been bullied, and I'm just wondering whether or not it means something personally to you.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, the thing one of the reasons I asked Olivia if I could just borrow the headphones as well was because there's actually 3 guys, there's 3 kids, 3 male teenagers singing in this song as well, and from a male point of view, a young male point of view, they've had their challenges, they've had anxiety too. So we suffer. I've had my own issues. I'm a musician. I'm sympathetic. I'm empathetic. So I'm you kind of you empathize with others, and music is my love, but this project is a massive organizational project, let me state, but it's just been a pleasure to be able to put it on for these kids to have a platform, to do a fantastic music video, socially spaced in the park, to sing a single, to release a single. It's a great experience for everyone, and every time we hear Olivia and some of the other kids now on the radio stations regionally, it makes us very proud, and we're genuinely happy for it, and that's basically it.
Oh, quite
I
rightly
think
so.
it's great. I'm
Felt.
going to read some of the comments. Do you want to pop the cans back onto Olivia's head so she can hear some of these comments? Because Olivia, as I said earlier, I think you made a lot of friends this morning. I like to say this morning. I know it's the afternoon, but then I don't want to think the whole day's gone. Paul Claridge, who's a lovely, lovely fellow, and today not up a ladder. Olivia sounds like an amazing young lady. So he's listening to this. Bullying of any form is abysmal. Talking about it is brave. Olivia is far braver than any bully. Bullies are just cowards. Paul Andrews, good on you, Olivia. This is just the start. Remember this moment and use it to empower you at times when things are tough in the future. Sue Cressman, the name of the song is Strong, by the way. I've only had about 37,000 messages from Joe Hart at Hart Media telling me what to say. Joe, stop it. And I think that's, I can say that because I've known her for years. Alexander Lichtenfeld, who's a terrific person, and listen to this, Olivia. Everyone, young or old, should be able to talk about their problems without feeling stigmatized, which is the key to everything that we do here at Men's Radio. If this song helps anyone who is struggling to open up, it's doing the right thing. Young people must not be scared to talk. The track is brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's from Alex. And believe me, she doesn't hand out praise lightly, because I've only known her 35 years, and she knows how many beans make five. So that is good. Now, tell us about homeschooling. You're not going to go back to school?
Can I just double check? Sorry, because I'm not sure how many beans do make up five. What's the answer to that?
7.5.
Okay,
plus
thanks.
VAT. Less discount for cash, Phil.
Oh, okay. I always got confused with that.
All right.
Anyway, sorry. About homeschooling.
Glassy Amanda, who is, forgive me, I keep forgetting. I think you're a therapist or a counselor. I mean, she's like in this business.
Yeah.
It's the most phenomenal song. Power to you from a sixth form counselor. There we go. I didn't read the rest of the sentence. But she's a sixth form counselor. So
I'm
as
glad
I said,
that it's doing what we want it to
you're
do.
having a terrific impact today. I'm so glad that you and Brian could rock up and do this, and I'm glad I was able to set it up with the lovely folks at Heart Media for this. Right, homeschooling. Talk us through it.
So when I was getting bullied in year 8, my mum pulled me out of school for about 2 weeks.
Can I just stop you for a second? Sorry. Did your mum, because this is burning me up, and I'm sure loads of people listening, and they listen all over the world. It's not a UK thing. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
And Brian would like to know, like Leo Sayer usually watches the show live from Australia. Just go figure. Right. So explain this. Did your mum go storming into the school, get hold of the headmaster and give them a right old telling off?
She did go storming into the school, but she remained calm. Obviously, she didn't want to come across like horrible or anything, but she did it the correct way. She spoke to my school and she got me the help I need. I started counselling at school. I also did some counselling outside of school. But she got her way, let's say. Some of the bullies were kicked out of the school.
Oh, good.
Yes.
This is great news. I thought they all got away with it. That is terrific.
Russ, do you want to speak to Olivia's mum? She's right here.
I would love to speak to Olivia's mum. Bring on the mum.
Thing.
Do you want the headphones?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh wow! Hang on a second.
Apart from being called Olivia's mum, do you actually have a name, or is it just
one
Olivia's mum?
possible way.
Well,
There's only one possible way we can introduce you at Olivia's mum. If we had an audience, I'm sure they'd be doing this. There we go.
I'm pretty much known as Olivia's mum.
Right.
But my name's Perry.
If you were to have a name, what would it be?
Perry.
Oh, you're Perry.
I'm also Perry. Yeah, we have
How
two
many
Perrys.
Perrys are here?
Perry, good lord.
Did you go large?
I like to go large at times.
Keep it clean. Now, Olivia's mum, Perry. This must have been a hell of a stress for you. By the way, before we say anything, your daughter's fantastic. We love her.
Thank you.
Men's Radio, we love her. Women's Radio, we love her. Our listeners love her. She's a hit, right?
Thank you.
So, you must have been going through hell and back, watching your kid get bullied.
Yeah, I feel really emotional just listening to her talk about it again. I've been listening to
You want to be a bit more like her and professional, you see. You can learn a lot. She's 14. She can teach you everything. She's a natural.
At the time, Olivia has kind of endured bullying from year 7 right the way up till now. It started off what you would class as, I suppose, silly things, and then it got bad.
What would you say is a silly thing, Perry? Because we need, like, you know, it's very instructional for us.
For us, I mean, it wasn't silly us living through it, but it felt silly going into the school, telling them she was being pushed past, she was being called names, she was having bags thrown at her in the PE changing room, she had rumours made up about her in a sexual manner. You know, she didn't even know some of the words that were said about her. She would come home and say, "Mum, what does this word mean?" And having to explain at the time to, you know, 11, 12-year-old, these derogatory words was heartbreaking. And when I went to the school, I felt like I was that parent phoning, moaning, complaining, emailing. And although there was a few teachers within the school that were very supportive of Olivia, they themselves were like, our hands are tied. You know, there's a lot of red tape. We have to wait, basically, in layman's terms, we have to wait for something major to happen. I mean, Olivia was surrounded at school.
I got to stop you there. We have to. The logic of that is the logic of the lunatic asylum. Wait a minute. We have to wait for something horrible to happen to Olivia,
yes.
and then we can take action, as opposed to taking action so that something horrible doesn't happen. That's madness.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, my eldest son was at the same school as Olivia at the time, and he was a prefect, captain of the football team, perfect student, and he ended up getting involved on a couple of occasions, and they tried to reprimand him for getting involved, and I said, don't you dare. You know, he's sticking up for his sister. How would you feel, you know, if you were hearing people say derogatory words, sexual words about your sister, knowing that that's not true, seeing, you know, he was getting called out from the playground, from class, because Olivia was passing out in the toilet from anxiety. It was horrendous at times, really, really bad. And I'm sorry, I get very emotional when I talk about it.
No, you're entitled to. You're entitled to, Perry. You're entitled to. This is a freaking nightmare. A horrible nightmare for you.
And as a family, you know, I'd sit down every night with my husband and my mum, and I would say, what do we do? What can I do to stop this? I didn't know whether to scream. I didn't know whether to cry. But I've got to say, and I know this is very cliche, her love of music, even at that time, got her through it. We were recommended by somebody for her to find a song that fitted her, and at that time she had found a song and she learnt it. It was by Demi Lovato and it was called Warrior, and that was her anthem that she would go to, because there was times she told me she didn't want to live. She wouldn't eat. She ended up in hospital because of her anxiety and not eating, and it was hard, but we have got through it. She had counselling, she had support, she had music. And when this opportunity came up to work with Perry and Daniela and Brian at the beginning of the year before COVID, it came at the perfect moment, because she needed a focus. And it just so happened that this focus was something that we as a family and Olivia was very passionate about. You know, I've been very vocal on my own social media. Me and Olivia have done videos to show people it's not good, it's not nice, you can't behave like this. You know, we have enough hate in the world.
Perry, now Glassy Amanda, one of our regular listeners, and writes to me most days, and she's a sixth form counsellor, says this: every school is mandated to have an anti-bullying policy. So how on earth could they say they have to wait for something to happen? Just disgusting. Now, she would know. I mean, as a layman, I'm saying it's disgraceful. She's a professional. That's her job. And she's saying it's disgusting.
Yeah, do you know what? I've got a couple of friends that are teachers, and I was told the same by them. Don't get me wrong. I was putting it out in layman's terms. It was basically in a roundabout way, that's what they were saying. They didn't say, right, we need to wait for her to be hurt.
No, I get that.
But, you know, in a roundabout way, they said, you know, we need an incident. And incidents did happen, and they mounted up, and one of the boys did get excluded, and there was another managed move by another child. And yes, it calmed down, but it never stopped, because there's always those hangers-on those people that have just made their mind up they don't like Olivia. And do you know what I think's really sad, gentlemen, is that before Olivia started high school, I felt I had to prepare her for this, because as her mum, I know her the best. She's beautiful. She's so kind. She's a good sister. She's a good daughter. She's a good friend. She genuinely is. And I said to her, because you're talented, because you're a decent person, because of how you look, you're from a nice family, you're going to get hate. And you're not going to understand it, but you're going to get it. But why? Why? We need to educate people that isn't the way forward.
Because people, I tell you why, people are not nice. People are really, really not
bright green
nice.
as well. It is very simple. They are just
and also, Perry and Olivia, can you hear us, by the way? Because I know Mum's wearing a headset. Oh, you can hear us. Okay, right.
Yeah,
okay.
They see people that they absolutely can't relate to, and as a result of it, they get very intimidated by it. And frankly, that's what it boils down to. It's never an excuse,
No.
but
and also there is the British disease of jealousy. In America, although there's a lot of haters in America if you're like a huge superstar, in America they love success, and in Britain they can't stand success. And that's the difference between a go-to, can-do attitude that Olivia's got, and Perry, if I may say, that you've got. And people get frightened by that. They get threatened by that. They don't like successful people who are confident.
It still baffles us that people will behave that way.
There's no
why
logic.
wouldn't you champion somebody to do well in life?
Well, of course you should.
You know.
But you look at it's how life. Alexander Lichtenfeld. I've got to read some of these comments because they're so supportive of the pair of you. Alex says, as a parent, we're only as happy as our unhappiest child. Oh, that's so true, isn't it? God, I can relate to that. It's so difficult. I also went to my daughter's school to address bullying. You have to assert yourself and not accept the rules and regulations. As Russ just said, it's ridiculous. Perry, you are 100% entitled to be upset and emotional. It's a global issue, and I'm hopeful a positive outcome from this pandemic is actually to address this more widely. Olivia, give your mum a big hug from us all, says Paul Claridge. Absolutely, we love your mum. Sue Cressman, who I hope has offered to mentor you, please take it up. She's a firecracker. I think this school should be reported to their local education officer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
by the way, we don't need to name.
No, don't name the school.
No. I think in this instant, we have made the right decision in deregistering Olivia. I think having her home during COVID, the one positive we can bring out of that is that we did well with homeschooling. And to see Olivia grow from being at home with us, her emotional status, although we had a few problems, like she stated earlier, in regards to online hate, through counselling and support again, we got through that. And I think the idea of her going back to school, and maybe, it's always a maybe, you don't know, her returning to that environment was making Olivia anxious, making me very anxious.
Yeah.
And lots of talks, didn't we, darling? And we just felt this was the way forward for us. So,
can I just say this? Can I put this forward? And I'm going to mention Phil here, is that Phil a few weeks ago said, right, I've had it with this, and he came off social media completely, and it was like breathing fresh air. And I only do it for business and to amuse people, or when things really, really rile me. But Olivia, is it possible, and it's a genuine question, is it possible for someone of 14 to say, right, I'm not doing social media, I'm just going to live my life?
Sorry, to come off social media?
Is it possible when you're 14 years old?
What would it be for you to consider backing off of social media? I mean, that's quite hard to say to someone who's got about 100,000 TikTok hits, but let's not go there.
I did come off of certain aspects of social media. For example, if you've heard of it, Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think of
Insta
came off. I came off of Instagram.
Right.
I didn't really use those, and I only had TikTok, but my account wasn't big. My account was just an ordinary account with a few followers. I used to just watch other videos. And as I got a bit older and all my friends were on it and stuff, and I did want it. I was like, I kind of want it back. I want to go back on there and see back. You kind of miss it almost.
Yeah, I
so
get that.
I got it back, and then obviously my TikTok blew up, and my TikTok supporters are so supportive. They're so lovely. And obviously, like I said, you get the few hate pages and hate people, but the good outweighs the bad so much. Like, they're such good supporters. And I would say I would not come off of TikTok because of my posting. And obviously, because I have so many supporters, if I don't post, like, you have to keep your page updated and
You're telling
refreshed.
me. Yes. Yes.
And
Just a
so I
bit.
wouldn't come off of there, but yeah, I think now that I have gained a few supporters, it will be a bit hard to come off of social media. But I do take breaks. We have like family time, for example, like game nights, and I go out. I've been going out a lot with my friend for like dinner and stuff. So I have been trying to get out there more instead of, being on my phone all the time or checking on my social media and things like that. So it does help, like, honestly, like going out really does help.
Remember one thing, Olivia, it's not real life.
Yeah.
Real life is sitting about 6 inches away on your right. That's real life, right? The nonsense on social media is just that, and it can drive you mad. I'm going to read this from the sixth form counsellor, and I think your mum's going to be pretty proud as well. In a world where we can be anything, be kind. Olivia, you've had a hellish experience, but look at you now and how you've used it, and using this to spread the message of kindness, love, bravery, courage, and reliance. Be very proud of you. And I think your mum, she's probably going to get emotional again. That's what mums do. God, what are they like, eh? What are they like? But she should be very proud of you. You've been terrific, and you've come through it. And good for you. Good for you. Really, you're a shining example of what's possible. That's the thing.
I think if we need to take anything from this is. This song in particular during the pandemic has been a tower of strength for Olivia and me and us as a family, because it's given all of us as a family something to focus on. I've been helping Olivia learn her lyrics, and we've been doing the track together, and so it's like a family thing at home with us as well. Always is with Olivia, to be fair, with her music, but so from this song itself, if we can raise awareness just to be kind, to others, don't make them feel bad about themselves, and also to stay strong, because you can stay strong with support. Talk to people. If you feel like you haven't got anybody you can talk to, this is why Young Minds are out there. This is why Grief Encounter is out there. Just reach out. Please just reach out. Sorry, I'm doing my mum bit now.
Thank you. But that's terrific. Thank you for saying that. And actually, as we are hurtling towards the end of this amazing hour, thank you very much indeed, by the way. Olivia, what would you say to anyone who is listening to this, who has probably, maybe they're in a similar situation that maybe you were only a few years ago? What would you say to them?
I'd say one thing would be, should I turn it around? Thank you. Sorry. I would say, which is what I've always said, is to speak up and find support and tell someone. Because when I did finally tell my mum about everything else that happened, honestly, it was a massive weight lifted off of my chest, off of my shoulders. Like, I didn't feel obviously absolutely grand, because obviously it was still happening, but I felt like I had more support. And if you can't tell your mum, or you can't tell your guardian or your family members, speak up, like Mum said. Grief Encounter, Young Minds UK, like, speak to anyone that you can, because honestly it's the best thing that you can do.
Do you know what? I have to say that working in radio, it's amazing how often you stumble across so many people of all ages who can't do that fundamental basic skill of talking and articulating. And you have absolutely knocked the socks off of them today. So thank you so much for being so honest, so candid, and not just to you, but also to your mum, Perry, and also to Brian as well, who we know is there. Sorry, Brian, give us a wave. You're there as well, aren't you?
Yeah, Brian wants to come on.
You've got 15 seconds. Go for it.
Just want to say a big thank you to David Stevens and Kaz Stevens for producing this amazing mix and song that we have on the radio. And thank you, Joe Hart, too.
And thank you both and all very much indeed. Really appreciate it. The song is called Strong. It's by Generation Z. Go download it. Go listen to it wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Guys, thank you very much indeed. Farewell. Bye-bye.
Well done. Take care.
That was terrific. Right, that's it.
Holy moly, mother of Elizabeth Taylor. That was terrific. We loved her.
Wow, what an hour. Should we do a 3-hour show on Friday, shall we? We'll see you at 11 o'clock. Then, bye-bye.